I have the privilege of introducing someone that has been a good friend of mine for a long time and a colleague, and works as executive director for the Pinto Horse Association in Oklahoma. Darrell Bilke has been involved in a lot of horse organizations and been involved in a lot of associations working with the equine industry. So Darrell brings some valuable information to us today. Just like with Ashley, I ask that you listen to him and actively ask questions. I'm sure you'll entertain questions at any time. But like I said, I really appreciate Darrell visiting with us this weekend. He did meet with the board yesterday and talk to them, and he's going to give us some insight on the horse industry as a whole, where it's going, and
thank you, Joyce.
All right, thank you.
Sorry for no power. Do I need this? Can everybody hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for no PowerPoints or any nice production, but I have to get back when we start our convention Monday morning in Oklahoma City. My staff is busy doing all the candy work and stuff for our convention. And I said something to them about it, and they just kind of looked at me, growled a little. I said, sorry. Plus, the story around our office, they don't let me touch anything that's plugged into a wall. Seriously, you can ask my IT department. If you want your computer wrecked or your phone wrecked, just hand it to me, and I'll promise you, it'll go south immediately. That's the cowboy way, you know. But Joyce, POA, thank you guys for letting me come. It's been a great honor to come and visit with you guys and spend the weekend. I get the opportunity to go on the other side of the airport and meet with the AMHR people in the morning, and then luckily I found me a ride back to Oklahoma because of the wind and stuff. They said it's going to be bad in Chicago tomorrow night.
It may be a fast trip back for you, because that 50 miles.
At least we're on the ground, you know. The airplane, it took me 12 hours to get here flying, so I think I can drive back in 12 and get the wind behind us, we can go a little faster. So that's what we're looking forward to, you know. But everybody, I want to ask everybody two questions before we get started out. And let's kind of make this kind of a round table deal. Let's you know, kind of show and tell, and I learn more from you than you do from me. What kind of horse do you have? Anybody want to tell me?
Four-legged.
That eats, that costs a lot of money.
Young.
What? Huh?
Young.
Young? What kind of young?
Babies, yearlings.
Okay, but I mean, a quarter horse, paint, POAs, you know. I'm going to tell you the story that I asked when I took over Pinto, and there's two things that I do every year. I drive the parking lots, or walk the parking lot, the trailer lots, with my little notes, and I see where all the trailers come from. I sell more corporate partners with that tag deal than anything, because they say, where do you come from? And I said, I just got trailers from 43 states, and here's the states. You know. Then the next thing I do, I walk the stalls and look at everybody's stall curtains. And you'll be surprised what you find on stall curtains. So, at my first board meeting, I went around my whole board room, and I said 52, I think. We'll run anywhere from 40 to 55, just depending, because our structure is elected. Each state is elected by how many members you elect a director. So, and the director is there, and then we elect our executive committee from the director pool, that 7-member executive committee. But so I went around my board day, and I asked him, I said, tell me what kind of horse you have. Out of that 52 people, I had one person say Pinto. Oh, okay. You're on board. One of you owns a Pinto. Well, I own a quarter horse, I own a paint, I own an Arab, I own an AMHA And the miniature people are great. Yeah, they plug themselves good. I own an AMHA miniature or AMHR miniature. Got to give them credit. Well, they promote themselves. You know. So when we got through, I said, all right, you guys are all Pinto members. The only one that probably needs to be in this board is one that owns a Pinto horse. The rest of you get up and leave. And they started spitting and spitting. And I says, now to go look at your stall curtains. When I walked the barns, they might have been one or two barns that had Pinto on their stall curtains. They had whatever outcross breed they had, they was more proud of that outcross breed than they was Pinto. So, I mean, I guess where I'm going with it, you got to ride for the brand. I mean, we all own all these different kinds, but I mean, you know, if you're at the POA deal, the POA is the greatest thing that's got four legs today. I learned that lesson a long time ago when I managed the Pinto World, the App World, the App Nationals, the Paint World, the Palomino World, the NSBA World. And I've got twin daughters, and one thing they did was they packed all my shirts. In the summer, I'd be gone for the whole summer managing horse shows. And that's how I taught them to use a calendar or day planner. Because that's how it goes, pack my shirts. And then this day, Dad, I started out wearing Pinto shirts. The next stop was the App Nationals. The next stop was the paints. So I told them, I says, you guys tell me when I have to change shirts. And they was like 4 and 5 years old. And I'd call home and I said, Dad, are you wearing your paint shirt today? I'm wearing my paint shirt today. So you get, whoever you're with, you got to ride for the brand. So, does anybody need any extra paint shirts or Appaloosa shirts? You know, but that's kind of you know, I guess if we don't ride for the brand and if we're not proud of what that four-legged creature is that we own, we need to go get rid of it. You know? And then we need to take care of the associations. You know, I know there's a lot of us sitting in here that probably, I want to say everybody is willing to give back to the association. The association comes first. But the generation that we're running with now, it's not what I can give you, it's what you're going to give me. And you know, the associations cannot, I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere, you know. And you know, besides giving their time, they've got to give money. You know, it's not a free ride, guys. And I guess my hat's off to you, but it's not off to you because I heard you guys say you had family memberships. Guys, I must have been cruel because when I took over Pinto, that's the first thing I got rid of. Chopped it. For a couple of reasons. We got to have money to run. We got to keep our association, your association alive, not ours. Your association alive. Somebody's got to pay the bill. So it's not fair to me, and I've got one child that shows in my family, and we got a family membership, and we're paying the same price of you that's got 4 or 5 kids that's showing, you're getting 4 times more prizes than I'm getting on my same dollar. So stop and think about that. Now, is that fair? No, not in the banker's favor for me. That's not fair, you know. So, like I said, that's back. Kind of my philosophy is when we took over Pinto, if we're all going to play, we're all going to pay. So that's one thing that we need to. I mean, if it works for you, fine. But I mean, I know it won't work at our house. You know, and I don't think there's any other association that's got a family membership. Then the other thing with the family membership, and we had it happen, and I didn't think I'd ever. And you guys are a strong youth association. 2 years ago at our World Show, we drug test just like you guys do. We caught 3 hot horses. And just where that pool of those hot horses come out of, the youth show. So we had to take those horses down. We had to take, those horses was in that youth name, we had to take that youth down, and we had to take that trainer down. Now, if that youth was a family member, we had to take the whole family down. So, I mean, you have no control. I mean, if you're going to show, everybody's got to have a single, for us, have to have a single membership to show. So, I mean, we hope we never have that problem again, because I don't want to go through it. But it's a bad scene when that happens. So, you know, if it works for you, fine. If it don't, but I mean, it will come back to bite you one of these days. I promise you, because I've seen it happen in other associations. And don't think that you're, because I've heard people say, well, we're just small, we're family. Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes family gets pretty competitive against each other, so I'm going to beat you, whatever it takes. You know, so. But basically, kind of getting off of that deal for 4 things that we live by is, in the horse world, the first thing is the family. We've got to have the family, guys. If we don't have the family, we don't have anybody. Then we've got to make it fun for them all. And if they're not having fun, they're going to go play baseball, or they're going to go play soccer, or they're going to go play motorboats, or stuff that don't eat and crap and run over you, you know. So, and then we got to be fair. We got to treat everybody the same. I don't care if you got $1 million or $1. We treat everybody the same way, but everybody pays their own fair way, you know. And in that way, there's no, you know, well, you know. An example used on me way back when I was judging the POA. I don't know if you guys heard it the other day or not. The little girl run out of order, and Mom and Daddy threw a fit, and I said, it's my pen. She run out of order. She's done. She's out. So Daddy threatened the show manager about, you know, well, get me to go pick someone up at the airport. No big deal. So just because you have people that volunteers, and that don't give them any difference than me, that's they're doing something else, or I paid my way. I mean, that's not the way the program works. So when you start playing that game, you're not being fair to everybody. So everybody's got to be playing on the same field. And be friendly, be nice to everybody. You know. What I tell my people, we're all running for an office, so let's campaign. You know. Let's talk to people, let's be nice to people. Our group is very, very good. When you come to the horse show, I mean, they welcome you. You know, they'll go help you. They'll go up the gate with you. They'll clap for you. You might have beat them, and you know, I've got a good group that, I mean, they're a good support team. And after they get to know you, beat them, they'll tell you, that's right, you beat me today, I'll beat you tomorrow. But I mean, it's good, clean competition, you know. But we treat everybody the same way. We try to make it fair. We do make it fair for them, and we want them to come and keep playing with us. So, way this horse business is going, is everybody's got a pencil. I'll give you guys some numbers. In 2001, the pool of horses we're looking at is quarter horse, paints, thoroughbreds, saddlebreds, Tennessee Walkers, Arabians, Appaloosas, saddlebreds, ponies of America, Morgans, Pintos, and half Arab registry. In 2001, I give these numbers to the board yesterday, it was like 303,173. That's a lot of horses, guys, in 2007. In 2017, that number just dropped to 126,528 horses. So what's that tell you? I mean, our market, literally over 50% of them is quit. So I mean, so then got So I broke out the numbers from the registration from 2016 and 17. Quarter horse was down 2.19. Paints was down 6.7. The thoroughbreds quit playing with us in 2012, but in 2001 they had 37,885 horses, and in 2012 when they quit playing numbers with us, they was down to 21,440. So you know it's big little. Standard breds was down 4.5%. Tennessee Walkers was down 3.5%. Glen Petty, those boys were always lucky. They had enough. They was up 5%, but up to that point they'd been down to about 10%. So you know they found some horses somewhere. Appaloosas was basically status quo. They was up 0.23%. Saddlebreds down 16%. POAs, you guys pat yourself on the back, you was up 0.52%, half a percent. But at least you was up. Morgan's was up 7%, Pinot was down 1.96%. So you know the term anymore in the association world, if you're even, you're up. You know, it's kind of like any business, you know, all your business. I mean, I hope all your businesses is going great and you're up 8 to 10 to 20% every year, but please let me know what it is. I'd like to get in it, you know. So, but that's kind of where we're at. The membership, basically, I didn't have broke out my breeds, but the membership in 2002 was like 600,000, and in 2017 it was like 38,000. I mean, 380,000. 600,000 to 380,000. So basically, the memberships are down half. So, I mean, so you know, where's our numbers? You know, what are we doing wrong? You know, we're losing a lot of people. We're losing a lot of people to basically non-equine relation. You know, and our kid market is gone. I mean, I know you guys are strong youth association. Trust me, we the other associations look at you guys real hard and heavy, because you know you guys. We kind of say that if the POA is up in the youth and we're not, we're doing something wrong. But you know, and trust me, none of us are in competition with each other. We're all in this boat together. We all want to work together, and you know, we want to take care of the horse. You know, so that's kind of where we're going. You know, so you know, ride for the brand. You know. Promote your stuff. I mean, I know my staff, and it makes me feel good. I told someone when I took over Pinto, when I have exhibitors wearing Pinto rags with a brand on it, like people wear Harley Davidson rags, I've done a good job. Stop and think about that. I mean, I got Pinto every place all over me, you know, and my staff's the same way. And we give away a lot of jackets, a lot of vests, you know, and everything's got to have our brand on it. I mean, so when you're proud to wear the brand for your association, you're starting to go forward, because you know that brand stands out. I got a call from Oklahoma City back in October, November, something, I forget what was going on downtown. That guy called and says, "Are you down here?" And I says, "Why?" And he says, "There's more Pinto jackets and vests running around here than there are anything else. What kind of Pinto events you got going in town?" I said, "I don't know. I'm not there." So, but we had that many people that made an effect on people that's not even horse related, that knew that the horses was in town. That even helps when you go to Tulsa for your Congress. And I know I'm on the tourism committee at Tulsa. Tulsa now is really starting to step up and help the equine world. And you know, we're blessed. We got some nice corporate partners. But the first thing they ask me is, "What you going to give me?" You know, They don't want to be called sponsors. They don't want to be called sponsors. They want to be called corporate partners. They want to be a part of it. But what helps in Tulsa, and we proved it with the International Equine Judges Seminar that POA is part of. A lot of stuff happens downtown Tulsa. That's like any city, that's the nuts and bolts of the whole deal. When we moved the International Equine Judges Seminar down in downtown Tulsa at the Hyatt Regency, and I'm not promoting hotels, but they're downtown and they are a true equine hotel. Takes care of all of it. When we put like 500 cowboy hats in downtown Tulsa for 2 weeks, you don't think those people started looking, and all those restaurants started looking where all the money was coming every night? My World Show, my Congress Show, I encourage my people, when you go out and eat, because we all got to go eat, have something on that says POA. I don't care if it's a name tag. You know, let those people know that the horse people are in town. Because if you don't tell them, nobody's going to tell them. If we don't blow our own horn, nobody's going to blow it for us. And then we sit around and say, well, how come Tulsa didn't come and support us? Tulsa don't even know you're in town. Nobody's fault but yours. You know. I mean, tell the people. You know. Kind of like and I've got my daughters. I own a couple of retail businesses, and my daughters, if they order something, even a pizza at night, never put that pizza in your name. Put it in one of the company names. So when you go pick it up, and we own probably the second largest flower shop in Oklahoma City. And the girls run it. So every time they buy something, I mean, whatever, they never put their name on it. It's always the flower shop name on it. So when they pick up that pizza and they pick up that hamburger from that business, they know that business bought from them. Same way in the horse world. I mean, they don't care who Darrell Bilke is, but when I put Pinot, it rings the bell. Tulsa last year, tourism department brings in $300 million from Tulsa. That's a lot of money. We're real proud of it. The equine industry brought in 100 of it. So the equine brought in a third of the income to Tulsa. So I mean, you guys are part of that income. And I mean, at least, I don't know if you get any money out of it. We don't get a lot of money. But you know, with people know we're in town, then the next thing we know, we're starting to get some coupons for Drysdale, we're getting some coupons from different restaurants, we're getting some breaks there. But then what's even nicer is the TV stations show up and they'll start doing some little free advertising or do some interviews. We usually have one. We've been very blessed at the World Show. We'll have usually a TV station there about every day. So we've kind of taken one day for our youth officers, and that's kind of their day. You know, we'll have a couple of TV stations out, and they get to interview the youth officers and go there. And then we just send them through the bars with our marketing department. We don't turn them loose with the camera by themselves because you don't want to do that. Trust me, because there's too many people watching us because, you know, they think we're abusing a horse or we're tying a horse around, you know, they don't know what's going on, and then here we open another can of worms that we don't like to get into. But they personally interview the members, and it's what's even nicer, then the people that we cannot get to come, we try to get them to the horse show, if we don't get them to the horse show, at least the hierarchies at Tulsa is usually watching the news at night or first thing in the morning. So, you know, if they hear a member from Minnesota bragging on the Tulsa facility and how great Tulsa is and how much fun we're having in Tulsa and how many people come, you know, they start parking their ears up listening, you know, hey, we need to probably start taking a little better care of our equine family. So we just need to brag on ourselves, guys, and you know, none of us do, you know. So and the other thing, and then, you know, I asked the question about what's your horse and what is your horse. And we went over all these numbers about the different, basically the major breeds. But one thing that kind of scares me a lot, it does scare me a lot, and if it had happened 10 years ago, I don't know if you guys are familiar with when they started the DNA registry in Fort Worth. The cutting horse boys, you know, back when before AQHA started registering, you could just register one foal out of a mare. Before they changed that, they started a DNA registry, basically in the cutting horse world. Those DNA babies was bringing more than its full brother or full sister that had a set of quarter horse papers on it. Because those people knew they bought it, that's exactly what they got. So we got worried in the association world, if that DNA deal takes off, we're all dead. Because, you know, the customer knows exactly what he's getting. You know, it's none of this deal on a little sheet of paper, you know, that Darrell Bilke says this is buy this horse out of this mare, you know. Now they got living proof. But luckily that thing went south. So, but the next thing that bothers us, and I know, and we play hard with it, but I don't have a problem with it, but is the specialty events that you know, we all talk about, and that's one thing I want to ask you, what you do with your horse, because, you know, our age, I'd say, you know, I've got POAs, we show at the weekend POA shows, we go to the national, we're promoting POAs. You ask, and just do me a favor when you get home, ask those kids that's 30 and under what they do with their horse. They're going to say, I ride Blazer, I ride Rainers, I ride Jumpers, I ride Cutters, I trail ride. They never say a word about any breed association that their horse is with. They don't care. They don't care if this horse has got a set of papers on it. And we've let this happen in the industry because a little association called NCHA, they don't have to be registered. In RHA, they don't have to be registered. In SBA, they don't have to be registered. National Reining Cattle Horse Association, they don't have to be registered. Team pinning, how many team pinning different associations are there? They don't have to be registered. Team roping, they don't have, you know, they don't care if they got a set of papers or not. As long as they can run and turn fast and turn around, you know, they paid out what, $10 million in Vegas in December that roping there. Barrel racing, how big's barrel racing in your country? I mean, you guys got POAs that run barrel. They'll get those 4D barrel racings. They don't have to have papers. You know, so I mean the breeders. I mean, I don't need to have papers. As long as he runs, can stop. You know, ranch horse, that's exploded. They don't have to have papers. Dressage, same way. Western dressage, cross country. Said team pinning, team sorting, the challenge trail rides. So guys, that's the direction that we're going. And we're letting it happen. And I don't know how we're going to stop it. I mean, and I guess I was kind of raised in a little different world. I was raised with a trip roper in the ranching world with my dad. We had lots of mares. But tell the story on him, God bless him. Sorry, Dad. Lost him about 10 years ago, but you remember when HYPP hit in the impressive world, and none of us knew what it was. I had an own daughter of impressive, and I was showing a lot of quarters at that time. They got to shaking and falling over, and you know, we didn't know what was wrong with her. So I took her to the ranch and turned her out. I told Daddy, I said, can I turn this mare out? I said, she shakes in the front end, and I said, she'll just flop on. I don't know what's wrong with her. She said, yeah, bring her up there. So I turned her out as a yearling. And my dad ran across the pasture, and he was the world's worst. He'd beat on the side of it and scare her if he could get up where, and she'd faint. He just called her his fainting goat. You know, she'd just flop over. Just, you know, that HY, just any little stress would set them off, you know. So, he was in the mule business. He had him a spotted jack, so he breeds his spotted jack to this own daughter of impressive. Sure enough, had a nice baby. Sold the baby for like $5,000, I think. And weaning, went to Bishop, wins the big mule day, so that starts it off. So he calls me, he says, can you find me one of those fainting mares? I don't know, Dad, I'll try. I said, we could, the HYPP, now we know what it is. He said, I don't care what it is. He says, find me some more. So I ended up, and that's when the bottom fell out of the impressive, you know, you can buy them for a little or nothing. I think I ended up buying 18 or 20 mares and had probably an average of 350 to 400 in them. So I take them off to the ranch, 2 and 3 at a time, and turn them loose. And I pull in one day, and he's burning a brush pile. And I thought, and I had all these papers stacked up on the dash of my truck, my good filing system. I just reached up and handed it to him. I said, Daddy, you want me to transfer these into the ranch name, your name, the grandkids' name? What do you want me to do? He said, let me see them. And as soon as I handed them to him, I knew that was a mistake. It was too late. And that far it went. He says, what I'm using these things for, I don't care what they are. As long as they produce, and I can sell those babies high, he said, I don't care if they're out of an Anglo and goat. And that's where we're going, guys, with all this, you know, especially people don't care. I mean, the ropers, you know, I was ready, went to school on a calf roping scholarship. If it could sit nice in the box and run hard and stop hard, that's all I cared about, you know, leading back out of the arena, I don't care. And that's the same way with the team ropers, the rail racers, you know. So we've got to figure out a way to market our industry, make it fun, and get more people involved. You know, that's the bottom. You know, now you guys tell me how we can do it. I'm in. You know, I haven't figured out exactly how to make that all work. You know, so. But basically, I mean, I hate to say it, we're on a downward spiral. You know, I'm hoping this year we're starting to see maybe a little light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I know my daughters, when they was about 14, from about 10 to 20, they was in that dark tunnel, and that flickering light, I just hoped a train wouldn't hit them when they was in that tunnel. So they finally come out, and we made it all right. So that's kind of where we're at in the horse deal, in that dark tunnel, and I see a little flicker of light there. But I hope it's not a train that's going to run over us and wipe us completely out. And if we don't band together, we don't work together, that train's going to wipe us out. So, and I mean, we got to lay. I tell everybody, we got to lay our torches down, and we're in the equine business together. We're in business. They got to have 4 legs, a head, a tail. They're going to bite you. They're going to crap on you. They're going to kick you. And they're going to run over you. That's all I know. But that's the business we're in. Because if we don't band together and start having some fun, and you know, like I said, we got to think way outside the box. Here in Pinot, we have stepped up, and the Appaloosa Association was almost dead and gone in California. Pinot was right there with it. So there's some groups out there, some Appaloosa groups and some Pinto groups. They're not banding together. The Appaloosa group now has started a show in Las Vegas, because that group's kind of around, but they have Appaloosa classes and Pinto classes, and we approve those classes to that Appaloosa Horse Club to have them. And now, sit back and don't fall out of your chair. We run these horses concurrently. There's just so many hours in a day, so many classes you can run. So I mean, the Western Pleasure, we run them all together. The judge has to place them all. So in return, your judge has to be an Appaloosa judge and a Pinto judge. But we have the International Equine Judges Seminar, the OCBC seminar that started 29 years ago. That POA is one of the founding fathers of it. Those judges have to come. I mean, I know our judges does, and Appaloosa's all of them. I don't think POA makes theirs Do they come
Not
every?
exclusively, most of ours go to that.
Yeah.
They some of them go to local.
But all of us have stepped up and made it mandatory that those judges had to come to that seminar to be approved or recertified. Yes, ma'am.
How does that work when you place them all? What if you have 50?
When we place them all, go to the computer with them, because you know you at the desk or the announcer stand has got the master sheet of who's in the class. So all you got to do is 419 was an ad. Find 419. You just
So you're separating them.
you're separating. You're
So
separating.
let's say there's 50 in the class, the judge has to place all 50.
Not on that. I mean, I wish that'd be a problem. but there would have to have splits. When you have splits, you know, you're still going to end up having enough horses, 90%, 99% of the time, to get your top 10 horses for each breed.
So really you like place 10?
Well, I mean, it just kind of what you want to. I mean, like us at the World Show, I mean, what we do, and we'll have some 4 and 5 split classes, and there'll be 25 in the split.
Yeah.
And we place 10, 12 out of that. And then we just kind of look and see, usually we'll bring back, a 4 split class, we'll bring back 5 out of each split. And then that way we got 20 for the finals. And usually out of that 20, you'll have your number. So, yes, sir.
I've got 2 questions or comments. In Colorado, every year we do the West World, and then we also have the RMR that we combine with Utah. But not too long ago, well, several years ago, we went to visit Longmont, and that's their
Right.
Chamber of Commerce. You've got to be persistent in this marketing effort, because the very first year we applied in a grant to get money, they said 0. You're not
Right.
getting any. We're competing against a big softball tournament at the same time, so all that money went to them. So we've done it every year, and every year we've answered the questions. They want to know how many people from out of state are coming, how many hotel rooms are you renting, that kind of stuff. So we started being able to increase those numbers to them, and we've gone from 0 the first year. The next year I think they gave us $100 for printing. Well, this next year we applied a grant, and they're giving us $1,400 to help put on our show.
I'm going to tell you another thing that'll help you there. If you can get your members to do it, and God bless us, why we don't do it, I don't know. Because I guess we are so secretive, we don't want anybody to know what we do. We started at our office, when at the World Show, when you check in, I don't want your name. That's the last thing I want. I don't want your name, I don't want your social security number, I don't want your bank account. I just want to know that John Doe, we have got 10 people staying 10 nights at the Hampton Inn in Tulsa. Sign it. Initially, I don't care, scribble when nobody can read it, that bothers you. But that way, when I go to, just like what you did, if you could take those little sheets to people and say, hey, this is how many room nights we brought to your town. And then it's back to wearing that brand in that restaurant. All those restaurants start seeing you show up. And
when you speak of restaurants, a lot of times, even during the summer, we would go to the Texas Roadhouse in Longmont and have dinner as a group of people.
Right.
Well, then we saw the sign they had that said, on Thursday nights, if you bring a group, we'll give you 10% of what you spend.
Right.
And we bought one of our banners, POA banners, and put it right there in the entranceway.
Right. And it
So when
works.
people came, they got to see that. So we're putting the brand out there. We're also generating money
For your club. I mean, you got to make it happen. They're not going to come to you. They don't care who we are.
And then my second question, so I have others that want to ask you, relationship with the 4-H groups.
Yes, we do. We have our youth program. All of our youth members have to be a member. And we have more fun with them, and it's probably good for me because I'm the sorriest baby shopper going. We have a youth lifetime membership for $100. And I don't know how many I'll give. If you're on my board, or if you're on the executive committee, especially, you get to the executive committee, that group is, kind of like me, they got some of that gray in your hair. If one of those have a grandbaby, I'll personally buy a lifetime membership for that grandbaby. You'll be surprised how many, and you're looking, for a baby gift, horse people like horses. So, what's it going to cost us? I mean, it's not gonna cost, it's gonna cost us basically a quarter membership card when we send it to that baby, that it's a Pinto lifetime member until it's 18 years old. So we hope when it gets to be 7, 8, 9 years old, now it's gonna start coming and showing and playing and feel like it's part of it, of the family. Then when it gets to be 18, our lifetime membership is $500. So we give that baby that someone given a lifetime membership of $100, we give them $100 credit for the $500 membership. Then I've got him the rest of his life for $400. Lifetime memberships I can make money with because I'm not in the magazine business. I don't want it. You lose too much money. People don't read them. I mean, the magazine deal was, when I took over Pinto, we started our little heritage museum. Everybody says, oh, my mom, my dad, my grandpa's got all the magazines. Would you like them? Yeah, let's take them. I'm not going to turn anything down. But I don't know how many sets of Life magazines that I've got. And I've got 2 in the museum. One out and one in the file to preserve the heritage of the association. I don't have room to store 50 or 60 bunches of Life old magazines because, I mean, if the family don't want them, why do I want them? I've already got enough. So I mean, what's you know? So we go to an online magazine, and then if there's an article about you or your family or something, you can print it off and it's suitable for framing. You can frame it and do what you want to, and you don't have that magazine laying around, and it saves us a lot of money. We can give our corporate partners a full page ad every 2 months, and so we can have a lot bigger magazine. We can have, I think I've got that number here. I can find it. I've lost it 2 or 3 times, so. We went to an online magazine. Last year, we had 73,800 people read the magazine online. So how many people are not Pinto that we had it online on our website where they could go click on it and go read it? And what really impressed me, we had 733,000 views. At least people clicked on it and seen Pinto. Now, you tell me any publication, print publication, you can get that number. So, I mean, it's back to getting your name out there, your brand. Yes, Miss Joyce?
2 things.
Is it time to go? Okay, I'm in.
Almost. How many years have you judged for us? Or had a card, judging card?
I've had my POA card, thank you guys, for like 42 years.
I was going to say, I knew it was,
Yeah.
it was up there. I will say, next time you hope you all encounter him, Darrell is one of our conference judges this year, so give him The second thing I just wanted to say really quick is something you touched base on earlier, and that is that, Tulsa's good to us. I mean, whether you show in Tulsa and want to go to Tulsa or want to go somewhere else, but one of the things I wanted to touch on wherever you're at is loyalty to a city. So many times we hear, you've been, I don't care if it's Tulsa, I don't care if it's Indianapolis, I don't care where it is, you've been there 3 years, let's move. When you do that, the ones that have put on shows realize this, but when you do that, you start over from scratch. As long as we've been in Tulsa now, just like last year, I was able to get 84 free room nights for our workers, our staff. That is a lot of money. And the cities are willing to work with you the longer you're there because they're getting an impact from you financially. And your name is out and they know you and they'll work with you. Whenever you start over and you move, you're starting from scratch again. And it impacts your bottom line. So you're right in that where it's important to get your name out and it's important to support those groups and be consistent with that. So whether you're putting on a world show, whether you're putting on a regional or whatever, bounce around a lot. But on the financial end of it, you start over every time you do that. So I appreciate your comments about that too.
Well, let me touch on that a little. I'm always been on world. I mean, back up. I was a professional horse show judge for 30 years. That's all I did. I was on an airplane or in a horse show that averaged 300 days a year for 30 years. So my two girls, I missed a lot of things that they did. I missed a lot of dance recitals, but that's beside the point. You know, I was approved in 16 different breed associations. So, I mean, you name it, I've judged it. You name the country, or the state fair, I've judged it. I'm not bragging. I mean, I've been around the world at least 3 times judging horse shows. And I've traveled a lot with some great POA breeders around the world. I learn a lot from them. But back to the horse show, when I was the Pinto World has been in Tulsa now 31 or 32 years. We don't want to move it. The Color Breed Congress we started is now going on 12 years. We don't want to move it. Besides being the city, getting people to know we're there to help you support, all that stuff, it's back to the member, to me. I mean, I look at my member that's in California. I look at my member that's in the tip of Florida. I look at my member that's, I take all 4 points of the world, of the country, and I don't like that guy saying I have to drive further than the other guy. Everybody's got the same playing field. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some closer. I mean, I can't help where you live, and that's not my choice, you know. 2 things, you know, you can pick your friends, you can't pick your friends. So, but it's more centrally located. You'll have more people come because when I managed the App Nationals, they moved that show around, which they finally landed, which was a joke because they moved it like once every 3 years. That and judges rotating once every 3 or 4 years, 2 bad things. Because if you're going to rotate it, if you're going to rotate it east, west, central, whatever, if I'm in the east, well, you know, I won't wait till it comes back to my house. I'm not going to go west, or I'm not going to go central. So now the people in the west, you know, and the central, they're not going because they're going to wait for it to come back in their house. So you're losing 2/3 of your membership of your show group because they're not going to cross the Mason-Dixon line. And the same way with judges. I mean, and I have a bunch of my judges friends that get real mad at me because there's some breeds that will recycle you once every 3 years. I said, I don't do that. Because there's a certain horse I like, and there's a certain horse that I don't like. So if you recycle me every 3 years, somebody's going to say, well, I'm not going. You don't like my horse. I seen him 3 years ago. He gave me the gate. He's going to give me the gate again. So why do I need to spend my money? And I mean, that's the same way at your weekend horse shows, guys. I mean, you cannot bring, and I mean, I'm not promoting more judges or getting different judges, but if you keep recycling those judges every couple of years, you look at your marketplace. You're going to get the same exhibitors, never another new exhibitor. Because that new exhibitor, or that old exhibitor, and I mean, that's the world's worst. I mean, I run down the road with 15 or 20 head for not a long time until I started judging. But if you know that judge is not going to use your horse, you're not going to spend your customers' money. You're not going to spend your time. I'm going to save my money, and I'm going to go where at least I know I've got a chance that they like my type of horse. And you know, everybody thinks, well, you know, I'm going to get somebody close home. I'm going to save money, all this stuff, but it don't work. Or I'm going to get my neighbor down the road. That's the biggest mistake in the world. Because your neighbor down the road is going to take care of you, and he's not going to take care of anybody else. Ooh, here we go. How many customers have you run off? So I mean, we do some crazy things in the horse world, you know, because you know we think, you know, think we're supposed to. And then it's just not your guys' group, it's all of us. Like I tell everybody, we've all got the same problem with a different number, and we've all got the same creature of habits, you know, so.
We've got about 2 minutes left, Darrell.
Okay.
So if you want to entertain any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yesterday you brought up something, and it was quite important, but it also raised some hackles. So you need to brush on it again, and that is the horse world's all in the same spot. We don't see it that way as individuals, but in reality,
We're in the same boat.
That is what it is. And you brushed on the fact that some are thinking about a color breed.
Right.
Okay, brush on that a little bit.
Okay. And I had one person come to, no, I'm not trying to take over any breed at all. Not whatsoever. I got more headaches than I know what to do with. But one thing about my group, they let me think outside the box. And trust me, if we hadn't thought outside the box, 10 years ago, we'd have been broke. We'd have been gone. And my board will tell you that. We would be broke. And I'm not saying, but thinking outside of the box. In 2004, my first convention was 2003 with Penn. That's when they hired me. And I interviewed with 52 board members. You don't think that was, but we don't go back there, don't we? But in 2004, my first convention, my first budget was like $50,000. And we was broke. Broke, no. We had a $50,000 budget and probably owed $75,000. You don't think that makes you? And I didn't realize it when I took the job. I thought, oh my God. I'm thinking and thinking, I'm going to present to our board next week right at a $3 million budget. But it's all not because of me, because the Pinot family has pulled together as one, as a family. We all pay our own way. We all play hard together. We all have dinner together. We go back to horse show again the next day, and we play hard again. But we're still all friends, but we all pay our own way. And that's what it's got to be. So, in that return, we looked at, you know, because I'm always looking. I mean, what scares me more than anything is that little specialty list I went down. Those people don't have to be, they don't have to have a set of papers. So, you know, you look where our big numbers are, you try to recruit people, you better go to open horse shows. That's where all your ponies are at. That's where all the Pinots are at. That's where all the quarters are at. You know, let's just face it, that's where they're all at. So what have we done wrong? So to start with, what helped us, we decided we are a Pinto Association. We are a colored association. But we've got horses that are solid colored, that's got the same gene pool as that colored. Could be a full brother, full sister. There is a line, all the colored stay over here and show on their side, all the solid show on their side. So we got two divisions. Home run, gangbusters. So when we took our solid division, we looked at the Appaloosas, because we don't register anything that's got Appaloosa characteristics or POAC characteristics. That's the only thing we don't register. I found out something here the other day that made me go, it's worth the trip. But when we decided to do that with the Appaloosas, I called my good friend Steve Taylor and I said, how many Appaloosas do you have that are non-characteristic? 130,000. Well, that's a big number. If I can see 10% of them in my registry, I'm doing good. And it's worked. Now I know POAs, you guys have got the breeding stock that has no color. I'm going to go after them. But if they ever crop out color, I got a rule and rule book, I can pull the papers. So the next step was we started a long ear registry, mules and donkeys. And it has exploded because there's no national registry for mules and donkeys. I mean, we got it. Yes.
Are those all colored also?
No, we throw them all together. All because there's not enough number. We register them colored or solid, but they can show together. That's the only group that can show together because there's just not enough. But we're registering them. When we register them colored, we register them solid. So if we ever get to that number, then we can magically split them. So So I mean, from that point on, we got to looking at let's start. You know, there's a lot of colors out there. You know, there's roans, there's palominas, there's POAs, there's buckskins. You know, a lot of colors. The Roan Association has got a Roan registry that they just register horses. They don't have a show program. So I'm building a program. So if I'm going to start the color breed registry, I've got the long ears underneath it. I've got the pintos underneath it. I could start a Roan horse registry and put the Roan horses for a show record. I could put a POA. I could put a Palomino. I could put a buckskin. You know, because we are a show horse association. Then that way, you know, your local charters or clubs, if they want to have a horse show, they don't have to have all of them, but they, you know, if it's strong in your area to have a long ear and a roan, you can have a long ear and a roan show. The long ears show by themselves, the roans show by themselves. But if the roans and the pintos want to show, they can show together. The long ears always show by themselves. So I mean, we get pretty wild. I mean, it's fun to come to our long range planning with my past presidents. I mean, we bounce some stuff off the walls. I mean, those guys come up with some crazy things, and I do too.
Are you saying that the pintos, I understand, I don't believe the Appaloosa as well, you'll recognize pony blood in your breeding stock?
If it's solid, if it don't have any Appaloosa characteristics. If it's solid, I'll recognize him. Put him in my pony division. If he measures. Now I know there's some of these ponies, some of these ponies might be a little tall. They're a horse. And I mean, we're very strict.
It's not what it says on your papers.
Huh?
It's not what it says on your papers.
Okay, but what they'll say on their papers, I'll register him as a pony, I'll trust you. But when you come to the World Show, and I measure him, and he measures a horse, he's out. You know, he goes into the horse division.
But he's not out. He just goes to the horse division.
No, he's not out. We just advance him where he belongs. Let's put it that way. And it's the same way with the miniature division, because I think last year we had to advance a couple of those miniatures up to the pony division. And we're real strict about that 14 hands. If he's 14 hands, he's not a pony. 14 hands, he's a horse.
Okay. 14 hands. Are you meaning exactly?
56 inches.
If he's 56 inches,
Then
he goes to the horse division.
He's a horse.
If he's under
56, he's a pony.
He's a pony.
Because he's a show association.
I'm a show association. I'm not a breed association.
He's a show, so a show.
A show, I mean, but you look at quarters, you look at the other blood breeds, quarters, 14 hands, they gotta be 14 hands to be a horse. Right, so we're the same way. A 14 hands is a horse, but we're a show association. But we're backing up like with quarters and hands, you know. So I know you guys might be a little different. The American Pony Association is like 14-1 or 14-2, so you know. So yes.
So, can you just briefly touch on how you measure your ponies? How long are they given, and just the procedure?
We have a place at the World Show that we put a lip. I mean, there's some level concrete in Tulsa.
Would you point it out? Would you tell me where it is?
So
We've worked on that, Tracy. I've got that for your business.
we put a piece of tape, orange masking tape, that you come in and you stand in the front feet on. Everybody stands on that same piece of tape. We put a box around that pony or that mini. Everybody stands outside the box except the person holding the horse. You got to stand him square, and I mean we'll back off and look at him. If he's not square, you're not gonna. This is not square, or that's not square. He's going to be square. You're not going to be pulling down on his head. He's going to stand up there and be natural. I mean, if his head's up, I mean, that lead shank's gonna be loose. Stand square, we lay it on one of his withers, he's in or he's out. No questions.
Time limit?
Huh?
Is there a time limit?
Wait a minute, time. We'll give you 2 measurements.
How long do you give them for each measure? Do you have a time limit?
No, we don't have time limit.
It's measured.
It's measured.
Measure, move on. We don't.
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
He doesn't care what it measures. If you're gonna show pony, you're under 56 inches.
But I mean, if you want to cripple your horse, cripple him. I don't care. And I'm not saying you, but I've had that happen.
We just need to look at our measuring procedures, and that's
But,
what I was asking.
but
So there's no pushing,
no, nothing.
Set that stick there at the highest point of the whistle.
Right.
With him maximum.
Standing square.
That's how big he is, right?
That's how big he is today. That's how the good Lord put him on this earth. The good Lord, the good Lord didn't put him stretched out.
not POA ponies.
There you go.
And none of this deal pulling down on his head. None of this deal when you walk up there and stand him up and reach up, poke him on the weather, or slap him in the middle of the back and try to get him help up. If you do that, you're out. Come back in a little while, let him relax. And if we catch you outside the stalls, beating on them, we suspended the person. Because I've got show stewards watching down the aisles. We caught a guy that took one in the stall, was thumping on his back, had him, and he come out. We got pictures of it. That guy got a $2,500 fine and a year suspension. We got him. Besides that, we got him for animal abuse, and that's what it was. But I mean, all you got to do is make one statement, and the house cleans up.
Gary, you got time for about one more question?
One more question.
And then the hotel is bringing the food out. You do have to have your lunch ticket. We're going to collect that. So if you don't have it, you got to go to the room and get it. You're about ready. Go ahead.
I'll be out there. You know, I've got a ride. I don't know. He hadn't called me yet.